Oh, we can see the walk. What do you see from where you are?
It's something else. I can barely hear you, George, because the noise here is deafening. The president and the first lady obviously coming out and taking a walk down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the crowd just going crazy. These are the people that helped him get elected and reelected. They are enjoying this moment for all it is worth. Packed as far as I can see up and down Pennsylvania Avenue, and as loud as you can imagine. They are energized. They are taking in this moment, a moment of pure celebration for the people along this parade route.
President savoring it as well. And Coach Roberts, you just telling us about how President Jimmy Carter brought the walk back after many years.
Well, the president's rode in cars or carriages or back and forth, but he got out and walked the whole way, and he wrote later, I felt a simple walk would be a tangible indication of some reduction in the imperial status of the president and his family. So it was a statement, and it was a statement after the Nixon presidency, particularly. So he was showing that he was the people's president in making that walk. The other famous one was Thomas Jefferson, who walked over from his boarding house, took the oath, walked back to his boarding house, and then nobody would let him sit at the table in the boarding house because presidents were no big deal.
Of course, now you see so much around him. I wonder if Pierre Thomas is still with us, because Pierre, we were talking earlier about all the security precautions that are being taken today. It's hard to not notice that as we see the president surrounded by so much security there as well. And to remember that he probably received Secret Service protection better than any presidential candidate because of the nature of the threats against him.
Yes, George, I'm watching this, and I was speaking to a Secret Service official, and they said every 4 years they have your heart in your mouth moment. And this is when the president gets out of the car and is walking, and he's out in the open there for anyone to see and be near. The officials say they try to work out with him the best location to get out so that they are not completely surprised by him getting out. But one official said it's totally up to him what he wants to do, and they have to follow his lead.
I'm looking at Mrs. Obama. I keep thinking of the memoirs that I have been reading for today, and how many the first lady talks about how cold they were. There's a general feeling that this is the time they can savor it.
And Nancy Reagan, writing in her memo how much she favored that private swearing-in that she and President Reagan had, just as the President Obama and the First Lady had yesterday, just the family in that briefing with Chief Justice John Roberts.
This is a long walk. How many is it building? The old post office.
And it's now offices at the National Building Museum. No, it's not. This is offices. There's some government offices there, some private offices there. And I believe Donald Trump is so far.
I do. I think you're right. I do think you're right. By the way, we're told that at least there's something slipped into the Martin Luther King Bible that the President and Chief Justice Roberts signed at the request of the family, so that they can have it in that Bible.
What a memento that is. After the parade, 2 balls tonight. And it looks like the President First Lady will get back in the limo right there, right around 12th in Pennsylvania. One big wave. And a kiss goodbye.
Heading back to the White House again, the parade will begin. And this is not as long as the first one, fewer floats than the first one. It will begin, as always, with a military procession. And Cokie Roberts, who's always standing watch over everyone, wants me to tell you that I seem to imply that the military band was there with George Washington.
Well, not the Marine band. Not the Marines. No, it was,
Right.
we didn't have Marines yet. John Adams created it.
We not. We had, however, no military band.
That is all coming up. Let's take one more break, and our coverage of Inauguration 2013 will continue.
ABC News live coverage of the second inauguration of President Barack Obama will return after this from our ABC station.